Welcome, folks. Today we're diving into a piece that really flips the narrative on Trump's motives. The idea that it's not really about crime at all.
Right, it's interesting because the focus isn't on his usual blame game about law and order, but on a different twist, isn't it?
Exactly. The segment argues that Trump's deployment of the National Guard to DC isn't about stopping crime, but it's more about flexibility in using military power to, intimidate and influence.
Yep, that's a bold claim. So it's like his approach is strategic rather than genuinely concerned with public safety?
Yes, it's packaged as a law and order move. But when you really look at it, he's been known to aid criminals, which turns the whole narrative on its head.
Uh huh. And that watch what they do, not what they say line really cuts deep, implying actions speak louder than his rhetoric.
Right. And think about it. Here we have a former convict with a history that provides plenty of examples of him practically giving a supportive nod to criminal
Yeah.
elements.
But doesn't that also suggest a kind of pattern where his moves are more political stunts than genuine crime fighting efforts?
Absolutely. It's like he uses these stunts, deploying the National Guard, to create a climate of controlled fear.
And if you think about it, these stunts, they act almost like a power display against the public, almost like a director staging a scene, right?
Exactly. It's like placing soldiers in a high visibility situation just to send a signal. It's not about quelling actual violent crime, it's about making people feel a sense of control or even fear.
Right. So, in other words, it's classic political theater with a military twist?
Precisely, it's the use of state machinery to create an image. And interestingly, the piece points out that underneath, there isn't really a deep care for crime prevention.
I mean, it puts a lot into perspective. Like, why deploy the guard if crime isn't the main issue you're targeting?
Right, and it obviously contradicts the public statements. It's not about reducing crime rates, but about weaponizing the military for political gain.
Yep. Now, I'm curious, how does this interpretation hold up when you look at historical patterns in his actions?
Well, the analysis connects dots to several past instances where his actions seemed less about safety and more about securing power by supporting individuals with criminal ties.
I see, so it's like his decisions often benefit a particular narrative rather than adhering to any consistent policy on law enforcement.
Exactly. It's a pattern that turns on itself. Like on the surface, it's this tough on crime stance, but when you peel it back, you find surprising contradictions.
Right. And isn't it also that a lot of his rhetoric is designed to distract, diverting attention from real issues?
Precisely so. It's almost like a smokescreen. The focus on deploying the guard serves as a kind of diversion from, well, other topics that might be less favorable.
That makes sense, but could this be seen as just another politically charged interpretation? Could there be a bias in how these actions are framed by the media?
That's a good point. It might be argued that the framing is oversimplified, but the evidence the piece pushes, especially with the relevant historical cues, does seem to support the view that the motive is more about using power over protection.
Yeah, I can see that, though I wonder if it might be stretching the implications a bit. Isn't it possible that deploying the guard could simply be a reaction to perceived instability?
It's a fair challenge. However, when you take into account his track record, helping criminals and imposing military force in political contexts, it paints a picture that's less about public safety and more about, well, controlling the narrative.
And that narrative being a kind of militaristic assertiveness that aims to quiet dissent?
Exactly. It's that intertwining of military presence with political authority. It's like turning the nation into a stage where power plays rather than genuine crime fighting operations.
Right. It's almost like a modern day echo of historical authoritarian tactics, don't you think?
Absolutely, it does share some similarities. And the idea that those in power can, deploy military might as a show of force is a very familiar tactic from past regimes.
And then you've got the irony here. Someone who's been convicted of crimes basically using state power to assert control. That's a heavy contradiction.
Right, it really twists the whole narrative on its head. The claim is that Trump is less about protecting citizens and more about sending a message of authority, even if that means bending the rules.
Yep. Now, looping back, the title, Not About Crime, is especially provocative. I mean, it suggests a complete shift away from the expected justification.
Exactly, it's like a rhetorical mic drop. Instead of defending his actions with anti crime rhetoric, he's seen as using them as tools of intimidation.
So, in the grand scheme, we're looking at a narrative that sets up a dichotomy: crime fighting versus power signaling.
Yes, and the piece drives that home by juxtaposing his public persona with the history of his actions. It's a careful layering of content, showing that his measures are less about safety and more about
Yeah.
consolidating power.
And interestingly, it doesn't just hold him accountable, it also warns us. It says, watch what they do, not what they say. That's a pretty enduring lesson about trusting actions over words.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that when military force is used in political ways, we need to question the real underlying motives.
While it might be a bit hyperbolic to say it's all about intimidation, the piece certainly makes you think about the broader implications of such moves.
That's right. And even if one might critique the strong language, the argument compels us to examine historical context and evaluate current events with a critical lens.
Yep. So, in wrapping up, we're left with the idea that it's not really about crime at all. It's about power plays, symbolism, and the dangerous precedent of militarizing politics.
Exactly. And while opinions may differ, it's a conversation that pushes us to really consider what we expect from our leaders versus what we actually observe in their actions.
Yeah, quite a thought-provoking analysis. Thanks for walking through that with such clarity.
Always a pleasure. And remember, folks, keep questioning and keep watching the actions behind the rhetoric.